Fleet, advance to Sector 7, execute Formation Delta. All ships report status and engage.
Admiral
Fleet,
Kyrex
advance
of the
to Sector
Centauri
7,
Armada
execute
stood on
Formation
the bridge
Delta.
of the
All
Eternal
ships report
Dominion,
status and
his
engage.
6 eyes scanning the tactical display with practiced ease. Around him, 300 warships from 12 different species formed the largest coalition fleet ever assembled in this sector of the galaxy. The holographic display showed their formation, a perfect sphere of military might that had never known defeat. All fleet commanders report ready, Admiral, his tactical officer announced, her crystalline voice resonating through the chamber. Kyrex's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. 300 ships against the humans reported single vessel. Intelligence suggested the humans had stumbled into faster-than-light travel only decades ago, infants playing with fire. They had refused to acknowledge the Zenthari claim to their star system, and now they would learn the price of defiance. Excellent. Begin the jump to human space. Today, we teach these primitives their place in the galactic order. The coalition fleet emerged from hyperspace in Earth's outer system, near Neptune's orbit. Sensor arrays immediately began scanning for the human defender. Commander Jessica Martinez watched from the bridge of the UNS Prometheus, humanity's first and only true warship, as the sensors painted a picture that should have been terrifying. Captain Reynolds, she said, her voice steady despite the readings. 300 contacts. Confirmed hostile formation. Captain David Reynolds stood from his command chair, a thin smile crossing his weathered face. At 52, he was one of the oldest military officers still in active combat duty. His gray eyes held a knowledge that the aliens were about to learn the hard way. Well, he said quietly, they did come in force. Communications, open a channel to the fleet commander. Channel open, sir. Attention Coalition Fleet. This is Captain David Reynolds of the United Earth Naval Ship Prometheus. You are in violation of human territorial space. Turn back now, and no harm will come to you. On the Eternal Dominion, Kyrex's laughter echoed through the bridge, a sound like scraping metal. One ship. The humans send one ship against our armada. He gestured dismissively. Ignore their transmission. All ships, battle formation Delta. We'll disable their vessel and take the crew for questioning. The coalition fleet began to shift, spreading into an attack pattern that had crushed resistance on 40 worlds. Each ship began charging weapons. Plasma cannons, particle beams, kinetic accelerators, technologies refined over millennia of warfare. Sir, Jessica Martinez reported aboard the Prometheus, enemy fleet is assuming attack formation. Weapons charging across all contacts. Captain Reynolds nodded slowly. Mr. Torres, initiate Protocol Phoenix. All crew to battle stations. Let's show them what human engineering looks like. Aye, sir. Initiating Protocol Phoenix. The UNS Prometheus had been built in the asteroid belt over 10 years, constructed in secret after humanity's first contact with alien civilizations. Human scientists had studied every scrap of alien technology they could acquire through trade, analyzed every weakness, and then done what humanity did best, they innovated. The warship's hull began to shift. Panels slid away, revealing weapon ports that ran the entire 3-kilometer length of the vessel. But these weren't alien designs. These were purely human innovations, born from centuries of theoretical physics and weapons development that had never stopped, even after humanity reached the stars. Aboard the Eternal Dominion, a sensor technician's voice rose in pitch. Admiral. The human ship, it's. I don't understand these readings. Energy signatures are off the scale. Kyrex leaned forward. Impossible. They're barely spacefaring. Fire a warning shot across their bow. The lead Zenthari destroyer unleashed a plasma bolt, enough firepower to crack a small moon. The Prometheus didn't dodge. It didn't raise shields. The plasma bolt struck the hull and simply dissipated, absorbed into a network of electromagnetic baffles that redistributed the energy across the ship's systems, actually strengthening their power reserves. "Thank you for the recharge," Captain Reynolds said calmly. "Mr. Torres, return fire. 1 shot. Make it count." The round crossed the distance between ships in less than a second. The lead Zen-3 destroyer ceased to exist. Not disabled. Not damaged. Simply gone, vaporized by the kinetic energy release, a flash of light marking where it had been. Silence fell across the coalition fleet. "Admiral," the tactical officer screamed. "Destroyer Wing 7 Alpha has been eliminated. 1 shot. Their energy output, it's impossible. They're generating power levels equivalent to a stellar core." Kyrek stared at the display, his 6 eyes widening in realization. The humans hadn't sent 1 ship out of ignorance or bravado. They'd sent 1 ship because they only needed 1 ship. All ships, evasive maneuvers. Return fire. Fire. The Armada unleashed everything. 300 warships firing simultaneously, enough concentrated firepower to sterilize a continent. The Prometheus sat at the center of the maelstrom, its defensive systems working with mathematical precision. Point defense lasers, faster and more accurate than any alien targeting computer, vaporized incoming missiles. Reactive armor plating shifted and angled, deflecting energy weapons. And the ship's own reactor, a miniaturized fusion plant that operated on principles the aliens had never mastered, powered it all without strain. "Shields at 98%, Martinez reported. "Minor power fluctuation in Grid 7. Compensating." Captain Reynolds stood with his hands behind his back, watching the tactical display with the calm of a man who knew exactly how this would end. "Target their command ships. Disable, don't destroy. I want them to be able to retreat and tell others what they saw here today." Over the next 20 minutes, the Prometheus systematically dismantled the coalition fleet's command structure. Railgun shots disabled engines. Precision laser strikes destroyed weapon systems. And through it all, the ship moved with a grace that shouldn't have been possible for something so massive, its maneuvering thrusters operating on principles of physics the aliens were only beginning to theorize. Admiral Kyrex watched his armada crumble. His flagship's engines were gone, weapons offline, life support failing. Around him, the greatest military force ever assembled was retreating in chaos, ships fleeing in every direction, abandoning formation, abandoning dignity, desperate only to escape. "Withdraw," he whispered, the word like ash in his mouth. "All ships, withdraw." As the remnants of the Armada jumped to hyperspace, fleeing in terror, Captain Reynolds finally allowed himself a small smile. "Communications, send a message to Earth Command. Mission successful. 0 casualties. The message has been sent." Jessica Martinez looked at her captain with newfound respect. "Sir, they'll be back. In greater numbers." "Perhaps," Reynolds acknowledged. "But now they know what they're facing. And that changes everything." The Prometheus turned, its hull gleaming in the distant light of Sol, and began its patrol route once more. 1 ship, standing guard over humanity's future, a testament to human ingenuity, determination, and the refusal to ever surrender the stars.